Today, we are still working with the figure, which is a diagram or pictorial illustration of textual matter. And we are creating a four-sided pyramid. Our anchor standard is refine and complete artistic work. Our process component is reflect, refine, and revise. Performance standard is to reflect on, re-engage, revise, and refine works of art or design considering relevant traditional and contemporary criteria as well as personal artistic vision. Warm-up questions. Where is Rome? What is a place you associate with pyramids? Where is that place? What is the symbolism of a pyramid? Why were pyramids built? So, background for this assignment is the Pyramid of Cestius. And it is an ancient pyramid in Rome, Italy, near Porta San Paolo, which is the door of St. Paul in the Protestant cemetery. And it was built as a tomb for Gaius Cestius, who was a magistrate in Rome. I guess a very powerful person because he had this pyramid built for himself. Now, this is what the pyramid looks like, and this is where he was buried. This is his tomb area, and so there's more information here about Gaius Cestius. Also, that the dimensions were 100 Roman feet and 125 Roman feet high. So I chose a ratio of 4 inches on the base and 5 inches to the apex to stay within this ratio of the pyramid of Gaius Cestius. We're continuing to work with the concepts of Sol LeWitt. He used lines, geometric solids, ratios, patterns, formulas, and permutations to create his modern structures and wall paintings. Today, the first day of this assignment, you will create templates and draw out your lines on your pyramid faces. Day 2, you will color and paint your pyramid and take photographs and submit your assignment by the end of class. Assignment instructions. Create a four-sided pyramid with 9 by 12 inch paper, each with a different face. Lines will be drawn 1/4 inch apart. The lines will be in this order on each face of your pyramid. Horizontal lines, diagonal lines, vertical lines, zigzag lines. Your triangle will be 4 inches at its base and 5 inches high. Create your triangle of a 4 inch by 5 inch high triangle and cut out exactly on your 9 by 12 paper. Measure up 2 inches on the horizontal and draw a horizontal line. Measure to the middle of the paper on the horizontal 6 inches and run a line vertically. Place your triangle template with its apex at the middle point at the 2 inch and 6 inch convergence. With one side of the triangle hugging the middle line, draw a triangle using the outline of your template. Repeat this process 3 more times to the right and to the left. You will have 4 sides drawn. Add a 1/2 inch tab on the left edge of the face of your left-hand triangle. Draw out your lines at 1/4 inch increments. When done, color with watercolor pencil, alternating lines of magenta and green on the zigzag and the diagonal line faces. Color alternating lines on the horizontal and vertical faces with black watercolor pencil. Cut out your pyramid shape and then tape the flap to the inside of your pyramid using a small brush and a small amount of water. Blend the solid colors within their lines. Do not mix the colors together. They must be crisp and distinct. When done, take 2 photographs of each of the 2 faces as in the example. This is your initial triangle, 4 inches at its base, 5 inches tall. This is 2 inches from here to here, and you need to make sure you have your center line so you get a perfect pyramidal shape or triangle. Here you will measure up 2 inches from the bottom here on your paper, 2 inches up, run a horizontal line. You will also run a line, make a mark here, 6 inches from the edge, 6 inches, and then you will go and make a vertical line on your paper. You will take your triangle and place the apex of the triangle at the bottom over here at your convergence point between 2 and 6 inches. Okay, and then you will draw out around the figure of the triangle 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You will be left with a slight little variation here. You will then put a 2-inch flap down here so that you can tape it together on the inside when you are done with your project. Here is the lines drawn out horizontal, diagonal, vertical, and zigzag. This is your 1/2 inch flap that comes off. Make sure you make your 1/2 inch flap so you can join things properly. This is now has been drawn with the color pencil magenta and green, and you want to just fill in that color. You don't need to make it too dark because you're going to be painting it and blending it. This is your black. Okay, now you use your brush and you will gently and beautifully and precisely blend these colors because they're watercolor pencils. And this is what it will look like when you're done. Take 2 photographs of the work from these angles. I need to see the different sides. Okay, I need to see what you got. Submit assignments as period number, last name, first name, SL6. Assignment's worth 1 point. Photographs should be submitted as a PDF file made using Google Slides. If you do not submit it as a PDF file, I will send it back to you and you'll have a 0 in your grade. And it says this in the syllabus, so please look at that. Grading rubric for art. Every direction is followed to the fullest extent. That would be a 4. That's 100%. Completed artwork is exceptionally neat. Student worked for the entire period with superior focus and did not need reminders to stay on task. Of course, you were going to work and get this done. Expectations. Student has exceeded expectations of his or her ability level. It's got to look like this, okay? It has to approximate this. These lines do not have to be super, super dark, but you have to use your brush and brush them out. You can see where there's a little water mark over here, okay? Things need to look nice, okay? This is what it needs to look like. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make a 4-inch by 5-inch tall triangle. And so I came in about 7/8 of an inch from here. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you have your point here, that's 0, and it goes to 4 inches. Now you need to measure it by half, right? That's 2 inches. 2 inches. I put a mark over here, 2 inches. Then I measured out from the side what my dimension was, and it was about 2 13/16. And so I measured out 2 13/16 here, and I put another mark. And then I had my center line. So then I ran a line and I made a center line here. Once you have your center line, you can go up to 5 inches and measure 5 inches. Okay, there you go. You measure your 5 inches there. You got 5 inches, right? Then, and so you put your mark up here. Then you take your ruler at your mark over here, and you draw your line from this side, and then you do the same thing over here, and you draw your line. Having drawn my lines, then you can use your scissor to cut this out. Cut, 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 cut. Okay, now I use an X-Acto blade because I use an X-Acto knife because that was even more precise. Now you have your triangle. Now on a 9x12 piece of paper, I now take my measuring device and I measured 2 inches to here. And then I came down here and I measured another 2 inches over there. Then I took my device and I made a line that goes across. And so I have this line at 2 inches. Then I measured, since this is exactly 12 inches, I measured 6 inches over to 6. And I measured 6 inches over to here to 6. And then I ran a line up the middle. And I ran a line. I drew a line. Now I take this, which is an exact triangle, and I'm going to put it over here like this. I'm going to start this way. Put that at the point. That goes there. And you can actually draw a line here and here, right? And I'm going to go over this with my ruler later, okay? And then I put my next one on here, okay? And it's going to be slightly off because it's not. There's no such thing as perfection here. Okay, and I run my line over here out like this. Okay, and just to get my line there. Okay, now you come over here with your ruler and make a beautiful line. Take your ruler, draw another beautiful line. Make sure everything's lined up beautifully. And if I went to the point here, make sure you know where your points are. Okay, I can measure from here to here. And that's about a little more than a ½ inch. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to measure a little more than a ½ inch right here. Okay. It's called 9/16. And I'm going to run this over like this, and I'm going to come down about a ½ inch over here. This is a ½ inch. And over here I'm going to come down a ½ inch, so I keep everything even. Now I run my line across, and this is going to be my flap for my object when I'm done with it. Okay. Now, this will be where my flap is. The distance between here and here is a ½ inch. The distance between here and here is a ½ inch. Okay, this is a ½ inch. Okay, that's the distance. Okay, so the directions say that you're going to create a 4-sided pyramid, and you're going to have horizontal lines, diagonal lines, vertical lines, and zigzag lines. Okay? Your lines will be 1/4 inch apart. And right now I'm taking my ruler and I'm going to be putting my horizontal lines in over here, and I'm going to start marking out 1/4 inch increments. So I've measured this out. I've eyed this to make sure I have it's at 1/4, and I've started drawing all my lines out. Right? Of course. Okay. And so I'm continuing on to the top. So the next one should be diagonal lines. So if you're going to draw a diagonal, I'm going to find the midpoint on this, which is for 5 is 2½ inches right here. And then I'm going to run a line out like this, and I'm going to call this my diagonal. When I get to this point, of course, I need to have my 1/4 inch, right? So now, this one needs to be vertical lines. So to get your vertical line, you need to measure half, which is 2. And all you need to do is run this out like this. It's 5 inches there. You get your vertical line. I'm going to go from the middle. And then I'm going to run across from here to get my 1/4 inch. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So now I have my vertical lines here. It's vertical. The next are zigzag. over here. We're going to zigzag now. Now, to do my zigzag, I need to measure out half of this dimension here, okay, which is 2 inches. And then I'm going to run this up. And everything's supposed to be on a 1/4 inch, right? Actually, I shouldn't have done that as pronounced as that, but okay. I know where my midline is here now, okay? I know where my midline is. And I'm going to go up a 1/4 inch, quarter. I'm going to go at 1 inch here. I'm going to go to 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And then I'm going to come up again about a quarter, and the same over here, as high as I can go, right? I'm trying to keep it even. Quarter. Okay, so I'm going to come up to here, from here, because it's got to be a 1/4 inch zigzag. And I'm going to come down like this. Up like that. And down like that. Okay. So now we have zigzag, vertical, diagonal, and horizontal lines. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to fill this with color. Okay, so you're going to be working with 3 colors, or two colors and black, green and magenta and black. And then you're going to use the white of the actual paper as a color. Okay, so you're going to start out with this, and then eventually you're going to take a brush with a little bit of water on it, and you're going to brush this, okay, and you're going to blend the color and make it look very nice. You're going to have a nice little effect there. So you need to be very precise in what you do. Now I'm going to start at the bottom with the magenta. Okay, and okay, so now we're ready to cut this out. Now, let us remember that this is our flap, and we need our flap so we can join everything together. So let's cut this at the flap. We're going to fold our flap. We'll fold our flap right there. Okay. And now we're going to fold on our corners of our pyramid. Okay, our triangles. We'll find that edge exactly. Make sure you find it exactly, and you're going to fold, right? you're going to need tape. So you get your tape. You put your tape on the flap. Turn it over and put your tape on there. All right, you got your tape on there. This is running a little tall. Remove a little bit of the tape. Take your piece, line it up, press your tape onto here. Now, you've got this little bit of stuff sticking out over here because it was a flap. I'm going to remove that. Now you have your pyramid. Okay, this is your pyramid. How about that? Now we're going to take our brush and we're going to paint this gently with water. Now, I've got my water here, and I put my brush in the water and I try to get the water off of it. And so I'm working. I'm going to work with one color at a time. I'm going to work with the magenta, and I'm blending my colors now. Okay, so work with one color. Do not blend the green with the magenta. Okay. Take a picture here.